What's up, guys? It's your boy Money Hardaway. As promised, we are here in downtown LA. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be very hard for me to film out here, not only because it's a very spread out area. There's many districts in downtown. It's not just one general area, and they all have their own vibe to them. They all look a little bit different. Now, it'll be very easy for me to just go to Skid Row and tell you guys everything's messed up, everything's dirty. It would also be very easy for me to go places like the Art District, where everything's changed. A lot of places have been cleaned up, and tell you everything's great. I kind of put myself in a little situation. Where do I want to take you guys where I think best represents downtown LA? This place means a lot to me. I grew up out here ever since I was a kid. We were walking up and down these streets up to now. I'm right on Main Street where I still do business. So I figured, you know what? Let me take you to the places I go, like right here on Main Street. Then we can go up Broadway, go grab something to eat on that side, and then we'll see where else we end up. But it'll be places that have a little bit to do with me and little areas that I'm more knowledgeable of, instead of just trying to tell you guys things are good, things are bad, and just being full of it. I'm trying to be very real with you guys. I make these videos to raise awareness. I'm not trying to bag on my city. I love my city to death. No matter where I go or if I decide to stay, LA will always be in my heart. So let's show you guys a little bit about what downtown LA is about. All right, guys, so we are in a part of LA that is known as the Fashion District. This is where everybody goes to get their wholesale clothing, blank t-shirts, blank hoodies. Pretty much everybody that's looking to start a clothing line or buys and resells clothing, they come here. I like this part of the area because it stays busy. It's always been really busy. As much as shops have come in and out and changed, it stays active on this side. It's not as slow as other parts of downtown. As mentioned, there's lots of shops to get clothes at. All the shops pretty much look just like this. But the shop I used to go to is gone now.
This is what firefighters downtown battled all morning. A 30-year-old family-owned business just exploding into flames. The building loaded with clothing and other textiles.
And a lot of YouTubers came here to kind of record the aftermath. This place was covered in shirts, burned t-shirts, burned merchandise. This is kind of what's left of it. You can see the burn marks, the fire marks. If you guys can picture from the back wall all the way to the front entrance, nothing but t-shirts, nothing but hoodies, nothing but pants. This store was huge and it was packed. It was even hard to walk in that front door a lot of the times because they had boxes all the way at the front and even out on the curb. It was a very busy business. The good news is I just saw a sign next door that says they have relocated. It was Main Sports World. That's the new location if you guys are interested. And I'm glad to see that they were able to relocate and not just shut down like it seems every other business in LA has. Another piece of LA that has changed. This is how the shop used to be. This shop next door is the only one that could compare to this one while they were open. Like I said, they used to have boxes coming out onto the curb, onto the street. They were very busy, and hopefully they were able to keep all their business after all that stuff happened. When COVID started, everybody started putting up these boxes and these tables. So a few of these shops you can't really walk into, but they still serve everybody out on the curb, whatever you need, whatever type of blanks you need. All kinds of stuff. Like I said, hoodies, hats, everybody does embroidery, they do screen printing. What's funny is I was watching another YouTuber's videos and he showed this curb, he showed this corner, and he made it look like there was no business on that corner. When clearly there's a bunch of shops here. There might be some offices for lease up top, but the corner is open for business. If you can see way down in the distance, those are the now famous graffiti towers. We're gonna try to end up on that side by the time the video's over. All right, guys, so we are now on Broadway. We have left the main street just because I want to take you guys down toward where the bigger stores are on Broadway. There's like an Apple store, there's a Ross, the kind of mainstream shops, the bigger brands. They've moved on to Broadway as an effort to kind of change the area. Back in the day, Broadway was not somewhere you wanted to be after dark, maybe even during the day in some situations. But it has changed a lot, and I'll be showing you guys the things that have been worked on throughout the area to try to get more people to come out. There's graffiti all over LA, but that's nothing new. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it just came out of nowhere. It's been like that forever. You could tell those ones all the way up top are years and years old. But as we get to that umbrella you see at the end, you're gonna see things start to change a little bit. So keep in mind what you see here, and then what happens when we get to the corner. So as we step a couple more feet to my right, you're gonna notice these windows covered in graffiti, tree covered in graffiti. As soon as you get here, it starts cleaning up a lot. This is the corner of 11th and Broadway. As soon as I cross this alley, it's gonna clean up a lot. This is the first major area I saw LA working on. As you can see, even the curbs have like fresh paint. There's bushes. These sidewalks have been freshened up a bit. The Herald Examiner is there. This is the proper hotel. This is Moonlark Bar Restaurant. As you can see, it's very clean in there. People eating outside. The vibe changes a whole lot on this side of downtown. You can hear music in the background. A lot more of the hipsters and artsy people have moved into this area. The sad part is when you move off of Broadway, kind of starts turning into a mess again. But at least this area, you know, could be somewhere you can walk up and down in peace, at least during the day. There's a big pack sun up here. That's something that you would have never seen 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You see little man over there putting work in. You do see a lot of those robots out here in downtown and in Hollywood. It's our food delivery now. Sign of the times changing. As this area kind of changes, you're still gonna see a lot of for lease signs, a lot of businesses that didn't make it. But at least I could say the city is trying in this area. There's people approaching me holding like bags of Whole Foods. There would have never been a Whole Foods here a few years ago. They would have never been walking this way a few years ago. We have high-end furniture shops here now. I'm getting a little bit of a New York vibe over here now. West Elm. That's a high-end shop. For it to be in this area is crazy. As we get closer to the kind of hub of Broadway, I want to emphasize that you would never see a store like this or anything you're about to see in downtown a couple years ago. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm kind of trying to take it all in, but it is a huge change and kind of almost culture shock. And this is me from LA. I just want to get everybody ready for what they're about to see, especially everybody that was in the comments saying they moved out of LA 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that it's changed a lot. You haven't seen anything yet. This corner is kind of what changed everything for me. This is the Rialto Theater, just to give you guys some perspective. It is now at Urban Outfitters. This is a Vans, and this is an Apple store. I would have never in my life imagined that I would see an Apple store on Broadway. The inside is actually pretty cool. I'm gonna see if I can show you guys a little bit. They kept what was the theater, turned it into a store, but kept a lot of the old Tower Theater. So this is the Apple Store entrance, but if you look up, the Apple Store employee told me it's a lot more beautiful upstairs, so let's check it out. So this is really cool, guys. I'm glad they were able to help the area out. They opened the Apple store, but they were still able to preserve the theater. It literally still feels like you're walking into a theater. Even the seating they have back here is kind of theater style, going up and down. I mean, if Apple's gonna move in, at least they did something like this versus tearing the whole thing down and building an ugly square. So let's move on, guys. Another insane contrast here on Broadway. All the way down to the corner is closed off and covered in graffiti. And then you just turn slightly to the left and there's the super clean Apple store. So it's kind of obvious that the area isn't perfect. You got Adidas here, like I said. You have that entire corner covered in graffiti. You got a Foot Locker here. There's a Starbucks there, but there's still places for lease. Places that left. Theater for lease. I don't know what to make of it. Oh, and it looks like the Foot Locker closed down, actually. There is no Foot Locker anymore. There's the Chic. Oh no, they are open. I don't know why the front looks like that, but they are open. Yeah, if I could describe it to my people from LA, it's kind of like they tried to make a Glendale Galleria, an outdoor Glendale Galleria of the area. You guys let me know in the comments whether they succeeded or failed. It feels like one shop is nice, one shop looks bad, one shop is closed, the next shop is open. Picture this parking structure from here to here. This is how all of this and this side used to look. This is more of the older vibe mom and pop shops that were open before Apple came in and Starbucks and everybody else. And it's kind of looking like it's lunchtime. As we make our way to get something to eat, I want to give a quick shout out to my shoes, man. They are the New Balance 1080s. If it wasn't for these shoes, I would not be making this video right now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If I was wearing the Vans I used to wear, or even Nikes, this would not have happened. This would not happen. These New Balances are literally the most comfortable shoes I've ever owned. I'll link them down in the bio. They are pricey. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. They are pricey, but they're worth every single penny. Okay, so now I've realized why these stores are still open, but they're putting up this plywood on the windows. It's obviously so they don't get vandalized like this spot. They had graffiti. I mean, there's no secret that there's been a lot of break-ins in LA. I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier, but as you can see, this is a Jordan advertisement with Mookie Betts on it. That's obviously some kind of shoe store, some kind of sports clothing store. And they just got tired of getting hit. They got tired maybe of the graffiti, or maybe people broke in, who knows? So they put up the plywood, and they have security guards sitting in the front just to make sure things are cool outside. So that explains why that Foot Locker was boarded up. It looked shut down, but it was open. But yeah, now that I think about it, if you ask me, I think this is where LA is headed, where stores like Skechers and this building, it's all renovated and cleaned up, but then you end up with something like this afterward, where LA still kind of comes into the picture. The fact that you're still in the middle of downtown LA, and then you get a reality check, which would be this plywood. I don't know, it's a mix. I have mixed feelings. Like I said, you guys, things are very clean in some parts, dirty in others. Lots of people, lots of energy in areas like this, and then other parts are empty. This is why I told you guys that every part of LA is going to be different. Every part of LA is going to have its own vibe, and this is just the example. Compare this to the shops on Main Street that I showed you guys earlier. A lot more traffic, a lot more people. Another for lease. But to be honest, this is the busiest part of LA here. So if we see anything out of business, normally it'll get replaced pretty fast, but outside of these blocks is a different story. If you go out of business outside of this general area, you're most likely out of business for good. If there's one thing for sure, LA is gonna LA. Hollywood is gonna Hollywood. They got a big production going on here. See Sony Pictures trucks, Paramount trucks. This is actually the second production I've seen. They were filming something down that way earlier as well. And then I don't know if you remember those pretty red curbs from the beginning of the video. They're gone. Remember the pretty bushes? They're gone. The pretty windows, the pretty art is gone. And we're only a few blocks down. Literally a block or two down. And everything changes dramatically. This is what I don't understand. And again, I'm not bagging on my city, man. I'm used to it by now. Like I said, I just want to raise awareness. Why is it that one block can look so good, then the next block looks like crap, then the next block looks halfway decent? It's just hard to understand. I mean, I would think you start on one block, you move to the next, move to the next, move to the next. But the city is picking and choosing what's gonna look nice and what's gonna not look nice. And that's where I'm confused. What is their kind of process to thinking? How do they decide this block's gonna look good, this block's gonna look bad, this block we're not gonna touch, this block we're gonna put millions of dollars into? It's just weird. I don't know if I've seen this in another city. If I've seen it anywhere else, it's boroughs. You'll have the downtown that looks either clean or dirty. Then you step outside a little bit, there's a whole nother area that's either clean or dirty. And over here, it's just like pocket. This business is gonna be busy, this business is not. This block is gonna be busy, this block is not. Let me know what you guys think about what you guys have seen so far. And we're gonna continue on this tour as we go grab something to eat. So we are now approaching the Grand Central Market. This is easily one of my favorite, if not my favorite part of LA that I want to share with you guys. And I think it's a little unique to LA, and that's what makes it so special. That and the food. Oof. Wait till you guys see the food. As you guys can see, the vibe changes a lot in here, and for good reason, for good food. Now I just gotta be very careful about where I go. Not because any of these places are bad, but because they're all so freaking good. Let's go eat. Get them.
I'll just get best food in the city, huh?
All right, guys, we went with the carnitas burrito. Let's see how it is. Amazing. Yeah. There's no way I'm gonna finish all this. Look at that. Size of my arm. The vibes are immaculate right now. I love being here. But anyway, let me finish this up. Let me enjoy the vibes. And we'll get back to it. Alright guys, we just finished up lunch at the Grand Central Market. Oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna finish this video, to be honest with you guys. That was a huge burrito. It was almost from my wrist to my elbow. I have no idea how anybody could finish that and not go straight to sleep. But now I'm gonna take you guys toward the jewelry district. That's another spot where I go do some business as well. By the way, if you guys don't know, I own a few different businesses out here in LA. Number one, which is still semi-new, was the clothing brand, which is called Vida Dura, by the way. You guys can check it out at Vida Dura CO on Instagram. And then I also buy and sell watches. I buy and sell Rolex, Cartier, and I have a detailing business, which is at Wavy Motorsport, if you guys want to check any of those out. But yeah, I'm always out here for either the clothing line, or we're detailing clients' cars out here in downtown, or we're flipping the watches, buying and selling the watches. This is why I had mentioned that I'm gonna take you guys where I actually have stomping grounds, places I'm actually at on the day-to-day, and not just straight to Skid Row or straight to the nice part of LA. I want you guys to see what I see, pretty much. The new food delivery out here in LA. They don't need Uber Eats out here, they'll just use a robot. But this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is where you guys can get all your fancy watches, jewelry. It's a very popular area for people to come shopping for rings, necklaces, watches, everything you could ask for. They have it here in the jewelry district. Another active part of the city. People are here often for shopping. Honestly, you get some good deals out here compared to trying to buy something at the mall or trying to buy something at a bigger retailer. That's why it's so popular. It's a cool place to come visit. As far as the businesses go, you're not gonna find any for lease signs here, mainly because if you can see here, even though these are 3 different doors, this is one little shopping center. If you can see how deep inside it goes, with a bunch of little shops inside. This is a regular store. That's another jewelry center with a bunch of little shops inside. Another one over there, and over here on the corner. You'll find the stands. Like I come in here, if you can see here at the end, there are stands back there that are for rent. Like if you can see these here, but it's very rare. Usually they're rented out right away, just because this is big business here in LA. I want to talk a little bit about the safety here in downtown LA and walking around, for example, doing what I'm doing right now with a phone out, recording myself. Some parts may be clean, some parts may be dirty, but one thing remains true about downtown: as long as you mind your business, you don't mess with nobody, nobody's gonna mess with you. If you can see behind me, some ladies walking around there, probably a couple $1,000 dog with their Louis Vuitton bag all out. And as you can see, I'm not in the best area right now, but as long as you guys mind your business, leave people alone, they're gonna leave you alone. As far as safety goes, don't worry about that. Obviously, don't push nobody's buttons. You might be running a higher risk coming out here in the dark when it's a lot more lonely, but for the most part, you should be good. Just remember, mind your own business. And on that note, I think we're gonna take a scooter down to the graffiti towers, guys, because we're losing sunlight. It's getting a little late. And to be frank, your boy's a little bit tired after that burrito, so let's get on a scooter. right, guys, as promised, we are ending our video here at the world famous Graffiti Towers, formerly known as the Oceanwide Plaza, or maybe never known as the Oceanwide Plaza, because I never recall anybody calling it that. But just a little history on the towers. Construction began here in 2015. In 2019, after $1 billion spent, construction ceased. The company ran out of money. It was a Chinese company, and this is all that's left. These towers have been covered in graffiti now, I want to say about a year. Since they got covered up, nothing's really been done. I heard the city put out a budget of like $1 million to make the place more secure. There's really just like wire fence around the block, nothing much else. On my way here on the scooter, I already found spots where I could literally just walk in, no security standing around, nobody in my way. Way up there is where the guy, where he walked the rope between roofs, between buildings.
Borderline terrifying video of a tightrope walker teetering on a 1-inch wide line strung between the graffiti towers in downtown LA. 28-year-old performance artist Benjamin Schneider filmed himself some 40 stories above Figueroa Street. No safety net. In February, the city earmarked nearly $4 million for graffiti removal, fencing, and round-the-clock LAPD patrols. Schneider says his stunt shows how unsecured the site really is.
Way up there, imagine that. If he would have fell, that's ridiculous. So I mean, as far as what's gonna happen with these towers and the city of LA, we don't know. Nobody knows. As you guys saw in the video, there's many places in the city that are clean. There's many places in the city that are dirty. Some spots look abandoned. Some spots look busier than ever. And I really don't know what to tell you about the city. This is what we have now. This is what we are used to now. None of this is new. This has been going on for many years now. And all I can say is hopefully one day we will have the LA that we want. Maybe one day things will go back to normal, or they'll continue looking like Times Square. It's really up in the air. I can't tell you. It's really hard to see which way this city is headed when there's so many spots that are so different from each other. Every block is different from the next. Every district is different from the next. And maybe this is just the way it's meant to be. Who knows? But thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. Keep in mind, guys, everything we saw, there's still plenty more to see. We didn't go to Olvera Street. We didn't go to the Callejones, aka Santee Alley. We didn't go to the Arts District. I know a few of you guys in the comments wanted to see Skid Row. I'm not a huge fan about making a video about that area, but if it's what you guys want to see, I'm all for it. LA is huge. There's no way I was going to be able to cover this in one day and one video. The sun's already going down. I gotta worry about traffic getting home now. That famous LA traffic. And I hope I'm doing a good job of keeping you guys entertained. Again, please like and subscribe if you haven't yet. My name is Money Hardaway. Farewell from beautiful Los Angeles, California, from the crypto arena and the graffiti towers. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.